Every year, someone in my family disappears on their birthday. Mine is tomorrow. It's not a secret in my family. No one talks about it openly, but everyone knows. Every year, one person disappears on their birthday. No body, no goodbye, no explanation. When I was younger, I thought it was coincidence. An uncle who moved away, a cousin who cut contact, a great aunt whose name stopped being mentioned entirely. As I got older, the pattern became impossible to ignore. One disappearance every year, always on the exact date of their birth. My parents stopped celebrating birthdays altogether. No parties, no candles, no cake. We acknowledged the date quietly and moved on. When I turned 16, I asked my mom what really happened. She told me not to worry about it. She said, it skips generations sometimes. She wouldn't tell me how it chooses. Last year, my cousin Emma turned 23. We had dinner at my grandmother's house. No one sang happy birthday. No one brought gifts. Emma sat at the table and didn't eat anything. She kept looking at the windows. At around 11 p.m., she excused herself to go to the bathroom. She never came back. We found her phone on the bathroom counter. The last thing she searched was how to stop it. My parents called the police. They filed a missing person report. But when the officer asked for details, my dad just said she left on her own. The case was closed in 3 days. At Emma's funeral, there was no body, just an empty casket. My grandmother cried the entire time. When I hugged her, she whispered, "I'm sorry." I didn't know what she meant. Last night, my grandmother called me. She asked what I wanted for my birthday. Her hands were shaking so bad I could hear it in her voice. She didn't wait for an answer. She just said, "That makes sense." Then she hung up. I couldn't sleep. I went through old photo albums after everyone went to bed. I noticed something I hadn't before. Every photo of a missing family member stopped the year they vanished. No birthdays after that. No aging. No funerals with bodies. I found a ledger hidden behind the albums. Dates, names, birthdays. Every entry ended with the same note. Taken before sunrise. My name was already written on the next line. Tomorrow's date was filled in. The ink looked fresh. I confronted my parents this morning. They didn't deny it. My dad finally told me the truth. No one disappears naturally. Something comes for them. Something that only shows up when the family acknowledges the birthday. That's why they stop celebrating. That's why they stay awake all night. That's why they lock every door and window. I asked him what happens if you don't acknowledge it. If you pretend the day doesn't exist. He said they tried that with my uncle. They didn't say happy birthday. They didn't mention the date. They acted like it was just another day. He still vanished. It knows, my dad said. It doesn't need us to say it out loud. I asked what it was. He said no one who's seen it has ever been able to tell anyone. At midnight, my mom turned off every light in the house. My dad checked the locks twice. Then he checked them again. My grandmother sat in the living room and stared at the front door. She was holding rosary beads, but she wasn't praying. At 12:01 a.m., someone knocked. Just once. Slow. Deliberate. No one moved. No one breathed. At 12:03, the knock came again. Closer. Heavier. Like it was coming from inside the walls. Then a voice spoke from the other side of the door. It said my name perfectly. The way only family says it. My parents started crying. Not loud. Quiet. Resigned. My grandmother stood up and whispered, "We're sorry." The door unlocked itself. I heard the knob turn. I heard the hinges creak, but the door didn't open. That's when I realized something was wrong. The voice outside wasn't calling me to leave. It was welcoming me home. I looked down at my hands. They were starting to fade. Not disappearing. Translucent. My mom reached for me, but her hand passed through my arm. The voice spoke again, this time from behind me. "You were always going to be mine." I turned around. Standing in the hallway was someone I recognized. Emma, my cousin who vanished last year. But her eyes were wrong. Hollow. Empty. She smiled. "It's your turn now." My grandmother started sobbing. My dad turned away. My mom kept trying to grab me, but I was already gone. Tomorrow is my birthday. I'm writing this from somewhere I don't recognize. There are others here. I can hear them. They're all saying the same thing. Welcome home.